y'all, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Marissa and I'm super happy to have you here today. I am back in my kitchen and I'm working on 2 savory dishes and 2 sweet dishes. And this first one was, I just had some things in my house I needed to use up. As you can see, I had 2 open bags of frozen peppers and onions in my freezer, so I kind of got all the ingredients down that I needed to use and come up with this, what I called a chicken fajita bowl casserole. So first thing I did was I sprayed my 9x13 pan, and then I put the peppers and onions in, and then as I am getting the chicken out of the jar, I'm kind of shredding it a little bit, but I'm going to put the chicken juice and all into the jar, to the baking dish. And then on top of this, I'm going to add some instant brown rice. I probably add about a cup. I just kind of poured it on top, but probably about a cup. Then I'm going to add some salsa that I had left over. We probably had 16 ounces of salsa left over that I had made a few weeks earlier. Needed to get it used up. And then I add a 4-ounce jar of, actually it might be a 7-ounce jar of green chilies. Either one would be fine. And then a can of Mexican corn. And then I just get all of this mixed up. I cover it with aluminum foil and bake it in the oven at 350 for an hour. Basically, you just want to make sure your rice is cooked through, and then it's ready to serve. I get it out of the oven, I mix it up, and then we ate it with crunched up Fritos on top of it and some cheese. You can eat it with tortilla shells. That's the way we would have had it if I'd had some in the house. I would love to have made chicken fajitas with the tortilla shells. This was really good, and then my daughter ate it as leftovers for a couple of days, and she boiled elbow macaroni and just kind of mixed that in there. So whatever you like, it's very versatile, very good. And I will make this again, and I will make sure that I have tortilla shells in the house because I think that is the best way to eat it. Next, I am working on a recipe that I found on Pinterest, and I will link this video down below. This is a pineapple muffin recipe, and I actually thought I was recording when I added all the ingredients into the bowl. So here I'm just showing you what I used. I used whole wheat flour, salt, baking powder, and sugar. And I'm just going to mix all of that together, and then I'm going to form a well in the middle of this bowl and then I'm going to start adding my wet ingredients, which well, before I do that, I am going to drain a can of crushed pineapple. You're going to use both pineapple and the juice for this recipe, and I will go ahead and say that if I make this recipe again, I will skip this step and just add the whole can to the bowl because the flavor at the end was good, but it wasn't very pineapple-y. And so I really want that bold pineapple flavor. And so that's something that I would change in the future. Also, I'm trying to make this as anti-inflammatory friendly as I can. However, I do still have regular sugar, regular brown sugar and stuff like that in my house. So I'm going to get all that used up before I go convert over to everything organic. So I'm adding a 1/4 of a cup of melted butter, 1/2 a cup of pineapple juice, 3/4 of a cup of almond milk, and then 1 egg. And I'm going to get all of this stirred together. Using whole wheat flour, it does absorb the liquid. I don't understand the difference in using whole wheat and regular flour, but there is a difference in how it absorbs the liquid. And with whole wheat flour, you do need to add more. So you're going to see me here adding a little bit more until I get to the consistency of a regular muffin mix. And that's just something that I'm learning, and it doesn't mess up with the baking or anything like that. You just, when using whole wheat, you got to add a little more moisture to it. So I could have done either more pineapple juice or more milk. I chose to do pineapple juice. So once I get all this mixed together, I'm going to get the recipe says it'll make 16 muffins. I got 15 muffins out of it. So I'm going to get my muffins scooped into my pan, and then on top of each muffin, I sprinkle some of the crushed pineapple. Again, next time I will just add it all into the mix. And then after I get the pineapple on top, I'm going to make a streusel topping from flour, cinnamon, and melted butter and brown sugar, melted butter and brown sugar. And then I'm going to sprinkle that on top, put it in the oven. I think it was baked at 375 for 30 minutes. And these turned out really good. They were a little bland. So I might add cinnamon to the mixture next time, and definitely that whole can of pineapple just to see if it gives it a more pineapple flavor. They were good. As far as texture and everything was fine. I just wanted a more bold pineapple flavor. Next, I am working on another savory dish. My husband had requested sausage casserole for dinner. This is his favorite. And so we actually had my son and daughter-in-law and my grandbaby come over to eat with us on this evening because they had a volleyball tournament and asked if we would watch Carson. And of course, we said yes. So here I am. I'm going to brown up a pound of sausage. This was homemade fresh sausage from a friend of ours, and it's the best sausage I have ever eaten. So I'm just getting that browned up, and then I have a pot of water on the stove to boil because I need to boil spaghetti noodles. And then I'm also getting the rest of my ingredients together. While this is going on, I need a can of evaporated milk, 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, 1 egg. I need a stick of melted butter and 2 sleeves of saltine crackers. And so what I'm going to do is brown my sausage. I'm going to get my noodles almost cooked, not all the way through because they will do some baking in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and melt my butter and I'm going to crumble up my saltine crackers and put them in the melted butter and get that stirred up really good because that is going to be the topping for the casserole. Once the pasta is done and the sausage is done, I'm just going to throw the pasta back into the pan that they boiled in, just one last dish to have to clean. Then I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. I add the sausage. I brought 2 cans of evaporated milk up just in case I needed the extra, but I didn't. So I'm going to add the whole can of evaporated milk, both cans of cream of chicken soup, the egg. Going to mix that up really well, salt and pepper it, put it in a 9 by 13 baking dish, and then top it with the crackers, and then bake it in the oven at 375 for about 30 minutes. Also, with this meal, I had some zucchini in the refrigerator that I needed to use up, and my daughter-in-law and I are the only two that I think like zucchini. So I just chopped it up into half moon shapes, sprinkled some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder on it with some olive oil, mixed that up, and then stuck it into the oven as well. And I really cooked that longer than the casserole. I think probably about 45 minutes because I like it to have some char on it. So that is what we ate on the side, and this turned out really, really good. I will have this recipe typed down in the description as well. So the last dish I am going to make is another sweet dish, and I am making it's friendship Amish bread that it's the recipe. You have a friendship Amish starter. I don't have the starter, but I had some whole wheat sourdough starter that I had been feeding for about 3 weeks, and so I wanted to try that in the same recipe. Like I said, I'm trying to use up all of the sugar and things like that that I have in my house so that I can convert everything over to organics and just healthier versions of everything. So I'm adapting recipes slowly. I'm experimenting and adapting these recipes for, to make it anti-inflammatory friendly for me. So I'm using coconut oil and almond milk. I have 3 eggs. I use a cup of my sourdough whole wheat starter. I think it's baking soda that you add, and baking powder. I will have this recipe listed down below for the friendship starter bread. This is also a large box of instant vanilla pudding that I'm adding to it. If you've made this before, you know how delicious this is. And honestly, it doesn't taste as good as the original, but it is still very tasty, very good. My husband even liked it, and that's saying a lot. So give this a try. Like I said, I've been experimenting, adapting recipes, doing things like this for a few weeks now in my kitchen, and I'm finding what works and then I'm finding what doesn't work. Again, here the whole wheat flour just absorbs so much of that liquid and it makes it a thicker consistency. So I added more almond milk, and then I set this off to the side to get my pans ready, and I spray my pans, use parchment paper, and then sprinkle sugar and cinnamon into the bottom of it. And by the time I do all that and go to pour my batter, it has thickened up again. So you'll see that I'm going to add more milk to get it back to a nice consistency to pour into these pans. And then I do bake it at, I think it was 325 for an hour. And like I said, this really, really tasted good. And I am excited to have this for breakfasts in the morning with my coffee. Alright guys, that's going to bring us to the end of today's video. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me in my kitchen. I hope that you'll give these recipes a try, and if you do, let me know what you think. If you adapt some of these to a more healthy, anti-inflammatory friendly way for you, let me know what you did. I would love to hear your ideas. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. I do cooking, cleaning, vlog style day in the life videos. I've done grocery hauls. I do antique shopping with me in the hauls, just all kinds of different things. And so I hope that if that sounds like something you would enjoy, you'll subscribe and come back for more. Thanks again for being here today, and until next time guys, I will see you later. Bye.